Hi there, this is me Amit, and in this tutorial I'll be teaching you guys basic of sculpting in Blender. This is going to be the first part of this tutorial series where I will be covering the sculpting in Blender. So if you are new to my channel, consider subscribing, and if you are loving this content and want to dig deeper, be sure to check out my full courses on Gumroad. Links in the bio. Alright, let's get started. As you can see, we have an empty scene here. And let's add a mesh. I am going to import a cube, okay, and we need a base mesh, okay. So I'll start with this, okay. So for sculpting we will subdivide this mesh few times. For that, go to the modifier step, add a subdivision surface modifier, okay, and increase the viewport and render level to 4. Alright, and apply it. For sculpting we need very dense mesh, okay, because the sculpting brushes will push the vertices inward or outward, so we need very dense mesh. If you go to this step, wireframe view, you can see we have so many vertices edges, so it is so important to have dense mesh, okay. So now we can start. Now we need another modifier called the multi-resolution modifier. It will basically add more levels but in a editable way, okay. If I where is the multi-resolution? So yeah, so this is the multi-resolution modifier. So you can subdivide it from here, but it is not going to, it will add more levels, okay, and it will very helpful to when you are when you need more dense mesh, then you will subdivide it, okay, from here, and it will contain that information in this modifier, okay. Alright, so now we can go to the sculpting workspace. There are two ways basically to add sculpting to those sculpting. One is by staying this layout workspace and going to this sculpting mode, okay, sculpt mode basically, and the another one is just by going to the sculpting workspace, so the environment is adapt for this purpose, okay, better. Alright, now we can see there are so many brushes here, and by default the draw brush is selected. It is the basic brush, and what it do basically, it pulls the vertices outward or inward, okay, according to the function effects, okay, you choose. Now if I draw here, you can see it is pushing the vertices outward, okay. Let's subdivide it one more time. So we have dense mesh. You can see if I draw, it is pushing the vertices outward, okay. Now for every brush we have some settings, like we have the radius, strength, and this direction effects. First we have the radius. It allow you to increase or decrease the thickness of your brush, okay. If I increase it, you can see there are the area is affecting, and the area is bigger, okay, and the brush thickness is so too much, okay. Let's decrease it, and now you can draw. So you can choose the radius according to your need, okay. Now we have a strength. Strength means the how much stronger the brush is, okay. If I increase it, the effect will be very strong, okay. You can see if I draw, the effect is very strong, just like this, yeah. Next we have this called the direction effects, okay. First we have the add effects. Add effects means when you draw on the surface, the vertices will push outward, okay. If I draw, you can see the vertices are pushing outward. We have the subtract effect. In subtract effect, basically if I draw, the vertices will pull inward, okay. You can see there it is pushing inward, right? So it is opposite effect. And if you press shift, you can smooth out the area. Okay, so for every brush, shift is a shift for smoothing out the surface. Okay, now you can see the we don't have too much we need to add more subdivision. So let's add a subdivision again, and now we can draw. Okay, and you can better visualize the deformation. Okay, next we have this called the draw sharp. It is basically same, but it is the effect is very sharp. If I draw, you can see we have the negative effect. Now if I choose the positive effect, sorry, it is like it is pushing the vertices outward, right? Next we have let me show you the effect. So this is very important brush. Let me show you the application of it. When you are, let me increase it, and if I draw, you can see it is let me decrease the something like this, and it is very important brush. It will allow you to add here. If you are sculpting here, it will helpful to add here with this brush. Okay, so you can see you can sculpt here with this brush, just like this. Okay, so this is the basic. Okay, so this is the basic. It is the drawing very sharp and the draw sharp. Similarly, next we have the clay. Clay will add some blobs. If you go to this active panels, you can see the preview of this brush. Okay, the what the brush is doing here. So you can see the, if I increase the strength, the radius, you can see it is adding some clays, and it is adding some clays. If you need some volumes, you can use the clay brush to add volumes. Okay, next we have the clay strips. It is similar, but it is like adding clays on in form of line. Okay, you can see it is very helpful brush, and we often use this brush to add volumes. Okay, if I increase it, you can see you can add more volume using this. Okay, let me change the strip. Okay, so yeah, so this is the overview, guys. You can see this is adding the clay on top of it. Okay, next we have the thumb. Clay thumb, basically it is not so important, we don't use it. So it is adding, like, it is clay, but it is thumb like structure. If you see, it is like adding thumb. If you want to do something like, if you stretching with the thumb, it will act like similar effects. Next we have the layer effect. Layer means it will add more and more layer on top of it. Okay, but let me show you. If I draw, you can see it is adding layer, and if I draw again, it will add on top of it. Okay, so if you want to add draw something, you have to draw in one swap. Okay, if I draw, I have to go in at once. Okay, otherwise it will be adding on top of it. Okay, if I draw, you can see it is adding on top of it. It is adding layer. So this is the layer brush. Okay, next we have the inflate. Inflate will pushing the vertices outward. It will inflate the region. If I increase the strength, you can see better. Okay, you can see it is adding or inflating the region, right? Next we have this called the blob brush. It is similar to like inflate, but it is much smoother, right? And it is basically a bubbles like structure. It is more like bubbles, adding bubbles. If you can see here, you can see the preview of it. It will add more bubbles. Okay, bubbles types. It will inflate the area like bubbles. Okay, next we have the crease. It is very important brush. It will add to It is very helpful to add details to your model like crease or wrinkles. It is very helpful brush. Okay, so we often use it when you are adding the edges or when you are defining the area. Okay, or when you add wrinkles. Okay, so this is very helpful brush. And you can see here, you can see that there is more things like we can mirror the symmetry. Like if I enable the X mirror, you can see if I draw here, we can see the effect on the other side. Okay, let me increase the strain, and you can see it is mirroring on the other side. Similarly, you can disable it or you can enable on the other axis. You can see it is doing something here, like, right? Or you can see or you can enable it on the Z axis. If I enable in the Z axis, you can see it is very like this is the effect it is creating. And if I create a blob brush, it is like creating the mouth. Okay, similarly we can add the crease brush and it will crease the region, or it will basically do this. Okay, so this is the basic brush, guys. I hope you guys got the basic idea, right? So what the brushes are doing. So I think you got some idea, right? And if you go to this brush, this is the smooth brush. It will allow you to smooth the surfaces or smooth the area. Okay, so this is the overview of the basic brush. Okay, in the next lesson I think we'll be going through the more brushes, and I'll show you guys the different brushes that we have in Blender. And in this Blender 4.2 we have some more options. Okay, so I will cover that in the next lesson.